Prabhuji.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Jai. All glories to Jagat Guru Param Guru Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. All glories to Assembled Vaishnavi devotees, and all glories to our revered speaker for today, His Grace Ishvara Prabhu. Well, Prabhuji, thank you so much for being here. It's always blissful to have your association because at least those of us who cannot be on the dam, we get the dam visiting us. So we're always grateful.
Is it Pavitra? The other said that. Is it Pavitra or is it the name so Madhavan? You look like Pavitra.
Oh, that is Madhavan Prabhu.
Your face look like Pavitra.
Well, yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, so Prabhuji, we may put the verse on the screen and then we take it over.
All right, so I just begin the prayers and
okay. Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Gurave Gurachandaya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Naya Namo Namahan Agana Timandasya Ganan Ganan Salakaya Chaksusumitanye Natasmasi Gurave Namahan Narayana Namaskritya Naraycha Vanarotaman Devam Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nasta Praye Swabhadreshu Nita Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamas Loke Bhakti Bhavati Nastiki Vede Ramani Chaiba Purane Bharati Tata Adava Adyan Chamadi Chahari Savatagi Yate Mokam Karati Vachalam Prangulangaiti Gri Yakripata Bande Sri Gurudinatarine Paramananda Madhava Dharma Prajita Kadavota Paramoni Masam Satan Vedan Vastavam Matabastu Shivadan Tabatayo Molanan Sima Bhagavati Mahamani Katanki Vaipara Ishvara Sadyoridi Havarudita Kasapita Kishanam Nigama Kapata Lukalitan Falam Sukamokandava Samyutan BHAGAVATAM Bhagavatam Rasamalaya Mura Rasika Bhuvi Bhabka Yashava Shamanayam Krishna Parama Puruse Bhakti Utupade Punsa Sukamo Abhayapaha Atoyam Brahmasutranam Bharatita Vininayan Gayatri Basharu Pushu Vidata Paribrimita Sava Viditi Asanam Saram Saram Paribrimita Savidanta Saramishi Bhaktamishati Tarashamita Shatipta Shilayati Sharati Kwachi Krishna ya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandana Yacha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Nama Vasudeva Sutan Devam Kansachanuramadhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishna Bandi Jagaguru Namo Mahabadan Yaya Krishna Pima Pradayati Krishna Ya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Goratrisi Nama Namamo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nivise Sunyavadi Pashatya Dishatarine Anchakapatulubhyascha Kripasindhivaiva cha Patitanam Pavanabhibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadahara Siva Shadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I thank everyone for being here this evening, my time. I know it's your morning or afternoon, your time over there. So maybe universal time, I guess. And so and also I'm glad to be here for all of you to be listening to this Hare Krishna platform. So today we are having a very interesting topic. The topic is going to be very, very interesting because it's about Uddhava. Uddhava is a very, very dear devotee of Lord Krishna. One of the greatest devotee of Lord Krishna is Uddhava. And Uddhava, he has a he played very, very significant, very important role in Lord Krishna's pastimes when Lord Krishna was here 5,000 years ago. And Uddhava was such a perfect person. His perfection is such that he has attained the same form of Lord Krishna. His form, this is called a Sarupiam. Normally, there are 4 kinds of liberation by which a person can get. One is called Salokya. Salokya means being on the same planet as the Lord, in this case, the spiritual world. Another one is Sarishti. Sarishti means to have the same opulence as the Lord, that is Sarishti. And another one is called Samipya. Samipya means to be in very, very intimate, close friendship with the Lord. That is Samipya. And then there is Sarupya. Sarupya means to have the same form as the Lord, very identical form as the Lord. So these are the 4 kinds of liberation that a person gets. And Uddhava was such a caliber of devotee who has attained Sarupya form. His eternal Bhakta is another friend of Lord Krishna. His role is both material and spiritual world. Just like when Lord Krishna, when he wanted to send a message to the inhabitant of Vrindavan 5,000 years ago, after the Lord had left Vrindavan and he was staying in Mathura, and he had been gone from Vrindavan for a very long time. So the Brajavasis, inhabitants of Vrindavan, they were feeling very intense separation from Lord Krishna. So Lord Krishna needed to send a message to the Brajavasis, the message of love. So the person that the Lord could send was Uddhava. So anyway, I'm going to get to that during the course of this class. First, I read this text first, and then I read the purports, then the commentary, and other, which I'm going to be making. But today's class is not going to be about Uddhava. So it's going to be a very interesting discussion. So, Samhutan Abhutusni. This is from the SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, 3rd canto, chapter 2, text number 4. Samhutan Abhutusni Krishnangri Sudaya Vrisham Tivrena Bhakti Yogena Nemagna Sadhuni Vrittaha. Sa Uddhava Muhutam, for a moment, Muhutam. Abhut became Tusnim, dead silent. Krishna angry, the lotus feet of the Lord. Sudaya by the nectar, Brishan, well matured, Tivrena by very strong, Bhakti Yogena by devotional service, Nimagna absorbed in Sadhu, good, Nibrita, fully in love. Translation and purpose by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. For a moment, he remained dead silent, and his body did not move. He became absorbed in the nectar of remembering the Lord's lotus feet in devotional ecstasy, and he appeared to be going increasingly deeper into that ecstasy. Purports. On the inquiry by Vidura about Krishna, Uddhava appeared to be awakened from slumber. He appeared to regret that he had forgotten the lotus feet of the Lord. Thus, he again remembered the lotus feet of the Lord and remembered all his transcendental loving service unto him. And by so doing, he felt the same ecstasy that he used to feel in the presence of the Lord. Because the Lord is absorbed, because the Lord is absolute, there is no difference between his remembrance and his personal presence. Thus, Uddhava remained completely silent for a moment, but then he appeared to be going deeper and deeper into ecstasy. Feelings of ecstasy are displayed by highly advanced devotees of the Lord. There are 8 kinds of transcendental changes in the body: tears, shivering of the body, perspiration, restlessness, throbbing, choking of the throat, etc. And all were manifested by Uddhava in the presence of Vidura. Just put on the live video. Just give me 1 second. Three, two. Sorry. I've gone live from my Facebook page. All right, so Samhutan Abu Tusnin, Krishnangri Sudaya Brishan, Tivrena Bhakti Yogena, Nimagna Sadhu Nibrita. For a moment, he remained dead silent, and his body did not move. He became absorbed in the nectar of remembering the Lord's lotus feet in devotional ecstasy. And he appeared to be going increasingly deeper into that ecstasy. So, whatever, it's very dear devotee of the Lord. It's a Premi Bhakta. Premi Bhakta means someone who's on the love of the Lord, who has developed love of God. Premi Bhakta. And those devotees These are the highest caliber of Vaishnava. These are the highest caliber of devotee. So whoever was with Lord Krishna, and then after uh, the withdrawal of the Jadu dynasty, so Lord Krishna was preparing to leave the planet. He was winding up his pastime, and then was ready to close to make his manifestation in this material world when he came 5,000 years ago, to make it unmanifest. So that time the Lord was in Prabhas Kshetra, the place called Prabhas, and that time he was there, and then he was sitting under a tree. The Lord was getting ready to leave, to depart the planet. But at that time, Uddhava, who was a very, very dear devotee, he was a constant companion of the Lord. So a constant companion of the Lord. And then he requested the Lord that, my Lord, I want to go with you because I cannot stay here alone. I want to go with you, my Lord. So take me with you. Because he has no other existence except Krishna. But the Lord told him that, actually, I have a duty for you. I have a message. I need to give you a message. And this message, you have to take to the rishis, to the sages who are staying at Badarika Ashram. Because these sages, they did not get my association during the course of my pastimes here. They didn't get my association, and they are feeling separation from me. So therefore, I want to give you a message to give them. And by giving them this message, then these sages, they will be relieved. And then, of course, this message took the form of the instructions called the Uddhava Gita. So there's one book, a very famous book, which I published some time ago. It's called Uddhava Gita. Uddhava Gita is actually like the second Bhagavad Gita. It's like a Bhagavad Gita, but in a more advanced format. So it's called a sequel to the Bhagavad Gita. It's called, and this was message which was given to Uddhava, by which Uddhava supposed to take to the Himalayas, to Badarika Ashram. So after taking this, after the Lord finished speaking, and then Lord Krishna sent out Uddhava. And then, of course, then the Lord finished his pastimes from this planet. And then Uddhava, he was feeling very deep. He was feeling very deeply remorse, very intense feeling of separation. It's like he had become like a delirium, somebody who have attempts a very state of madness, whereby he no longer even recognize himself. He no longer recognize himself. So you see, as he was going, when Vidura saw him, and of course Vidura immediately recognized that, oh, this is Uddhava. And Uddhava is very, very dear to Lord Krishna. He's a very, very dear devotee of Lord Krishna. So, and Uddhava, then Vidura was asking Uddhava so many, many questions. Specifically, Vidura was interested to know, he want to hear something about Lord Krishna. Because you know that wherever Krishna's devotees are, this is where Krishna is. As they say, don't try to see Krishna. Because if you try, you will not succeed. How do you see Krishna? You see his devotees. Wherever Krishna's devotees are, that's where his devotees are. So when Vidura, when he saw Uddhava, he was very, very happy. He was very, very happy. And then he started posing questions. Especially in the last chapter, towards the end of the last chapter, we heard about this. Many of these questions which Uddhava had asked. So by hearing this question, because Vidura was very much interested to hear about Lord Krishna, he wanted to hear Krishna Katha, because the talk of Lord Krishna is what gives life to everyone. Every living entity, if you want to be alive, you hear about Krishna. Those who are not hearing about Lord Krishna, they are said to be dead. They're said to be dead, even though they may be walking. It's like anybody may be walking, going around, actually, they're not better than the cops, walking cops, if you don't hear about Lord Krishna. So talk about Krishna, give everyone life. So Vidura was very much interested, he was so eager, wanted to hear about Krishna. So hearing this question from Vidura, it mentioned here, Samhutan Abotusmin. So Uddhava, he at once, just by hearing the Vidura asking question, momentarily he lost consciousness. Momentarily, for about 48 minutes, Muhuta is mentioned here. Muhutam is because normally the timing is a period of timing, and this the time 24 hours a day is divided at the period of 48 minutes, like that. So one Muhuta is 48 minutes. So for a period of 48 minutes, Vidura was totally unconscious. And during this time, he was manifesting so many symptoms of ecstasy. This is called Sattvic Bhava. Sattvic Bhava means for those devotees who have attained the highest state of spiritual advancement. So they enter into this stage of what we call Bhava. And in this situation, they manifest different symptoms, which are 8 in number. So these symptoms look so like a shedding of tears, shivering of the body, perspiration, restlessness, throbbing, choking of the voice, there's what we call chitta japa, just talk, without any meaning, things like that. This is called Sattvika Bhava. When you read the Nectar Devotion, you can get more information about this in the Nectar Devotion. So before Vidura, Uddhava lost himself, Ali was manifesting all these different ecstatic symptoms for a period of 48 minutes. So before we go ahead, so Uddhava was a great devotee of the Lord. So there was one time when Narada Muni was he was going about, he wanted to find out who is the best devotee of Lord Krishna. Who is the best loved devotee? Who is the best devotee of Lord Krishna, and who has attained Lord Krishna's mercy? He wanted to find out the best of all devotees. So Narada Muni, he was traveling in different places. He started traveling from Prayag in Haridwar, from Prayag, and then from there he went to the southern regions. And then he went from down there. Okay, as he was going, he was meeting different devotees. And then Then he went to the heavenly planet. He went to the planet of Indra, assuming that Indra is a great devotee. And then from there, then of course, as he was going, then Indra will say that, oh, I'm not the best devotee. There's a word, you have to go to this person. So from Indra, then he went to Brahmaji. From Brahmaji, then he went to Lord Shiva. And then from Lord Shiva, he went to Prahlad. And then from Prahlad, then he went to Hanuman. And then Hanuman, then he went to the Pandavas. And each of these devotees, they all, they all are expressing their particular sentiment towards the Lord. But they will always tell themselves that, oh, I'm not really a devotee. If you really want to say devotee, you go to that person. So it was with the Uddhavas, and it was with the Madhavas, the Pandavas. And the Pandavas, everybody know then that great devotees of the Lord. Pandava means Arjuna, Yudhishthira Maharaj, Bhima, Nakul Sahadev, then Draupadi. These are the Pandavas. They're very dear devotee of the Lord. Their life they have no other existence except the Lord himself. But but the Pandavas, because the Lord is not with them, because they are missing the association of the Lord, so they told Narada Muni that, look, those devotees, that the Lord is always in the association. They're always associating with the Lord. Those devotees are the Yadavas, the members of the Yadu dynasty. Those are the real devotees. And because the fact is because the Lord Krishna is always with them. So therefore, the same dear sage, you go to Dwarka, and then you can see yourself, you can see the manifesto, you can see the nature of these great devotees of the Lord. So then Narada Muni was very, very full of ecstasy. He was so happy. So he immediately flew through the air. Narada Muni can fly through the air. Immediately flew through the air and then arrived in Dwarka. And at that time, when he arrived in Dwarka, that time it was a morning time. And then there was a big assembly hall, which is called Sudama Sabha. There's big assembly hall, which was actually brought from the heavenly planet. And it was placed in Dwarka. So at that time, all the members of the Yadu, they all gather, which means King Ugrasena and many Yadu, all the Yadavas, and they all there. So they were in the assembly, but Lord Krishna had not arrived. Lord Krishna had not arrived because normally they have the assembly every morning, and before any deliberation, Krishna comes first, because all the deliberation will always center around Krishna. Then this particular morning, Krishna had not come. So they became impatient. Why Krishna is not here? Why Krishna had not come? So as they were in their deliberation, they are anxiously waiting for Lord Krishna to come. In the meanwhile, Narada Muni came. So Narada Muni came, then he went to the assembly, and then immediately prostrated himself before the Yadava, especially before Ugrasena Maharaj, before Maharaj Ugrasena, King Ugrasena. With his loud voice, with his vina, singing the glories of the Yadavas, singing their glories of how great they are, how Lord Krishna is their life, their thoughts, their deeds, their actions, and everything. It's all centered around Lord Krishna. They have no other existence, they have no other life. So Narada Muni was praising them, singing their glories. But as Naramani was pressing them, so first of all, the Yadavas, they were very, very surprised that a great sage, Naramani, had come and is here singing their glories. So they kind of felt embarrassed that how come the great sage is doing this, the great sage Naramani is doing this. So they all immediately got up and then they placed, and then Ugrasena Maharaj, he came out of his throne, and then he guided Nadamuni and put Nadamuni on his throne. And then Nadamuni was praising them of how they are so dear to Lord Krishna, how they actually the one who have attained Lord Krishna's mercy. So as Nadamuni was saying this, so Ugrasena Maharaj, he started speaking. He said, "Oh, dear great sage, you are all knowing yourself. You all know it. You know the past, present, and future. Yes, you're yourself again. You know everything. So why are you here praising us here? Hmm? Your Lordship know that person who is very, very exceptional, who can be said to actually be very, very dear to Lord Krishna. That person is none other than Uddhava. That person is none other than Uddhava, who's non-different. Because, as I said earlier, the Uddhava is such a great person that he's playing all kinds of role to Lord Krishna. He's the Lord's messenger, he's the Lord's advisor, he's the Lord's friend, and everything. And Uddhava, he's been this way right from his childhood, right from the time he was a baby, from his childhood. So there was so much glorification of Uddhava, which was given to, which was narrated to Nadamuni. And then now they're telling Nadamuni that now as we are speaking, Uddhava is actually in the palace of Lord Krishna. He's actually in the palace because all of them, they were waiting in the assembly hall to wait for Lord Krishna, whereas Uddhava is there, and Uddhava is supposed to come to the assembly along with Lord Krishna. So they told Nadamuni that you go and see this person, this Uddhava. There's not, we can only tell you so much about Uddhava, but when you see yourself, then you know exactly what we're talking about. So much of glory was narrated to Nadamuni, and then Nadamuni was so full of ecstasy. So he says, "Oh, my life has attained success. This is success of my life that I've heard a real devotee of Lord Krishna. That I've heard a real devotee of Lord Krishna, somebody who's like the embodiment of the mercy of Krishna. Now this is success of my life." So Nadamuni was full of ecstasy. He was full of ecstasy, and then he went to the palace of Lord Krishna in Dwarka. So he went out seeking out Uddhava. So he went out seeking out Uddhava, and then Uddhava was pointed out to him. He was seeking out Uddhava, and then he started, first of all, then he started talking about Uddhava, Nadamuni. So in the BHAGAVATAM, it's a very wonderful literature which written by Srila Sanatana Goswami. It's talking about this encounter of Nadamuni and Uddhava. For some who have heard I gave you some series of classes on the BHAGAVATAM, and much this was discussed in that seminar. So si parisi uvacha sagat gachan uvacharu dara milita lochane yatnat umilaya nava sakampa Pulakachitaha. So Parikshit said, Narada replied in a choking voice, tears flowing from his eyes. And as he began to speak, he opened his eyes with difficulty and bowed down to offer respects. He was trembling, and the hairs on his body stood erect, because just by seeing the Uddhava, so Narada Muni became full of ecstasy just by seeing Uddhava. We have to know that when Uddhava, when he was sent to Vrindavan to give the message to the Brijavasi, because Lord Krishna sent Uddhava to Vrindavan to give a message to the Brijavasi, to go and tell him that Brijavasi that he's going to come back, so they should stop. They should stop lamenting for him. He's going to come back. So, but when Uddhava was entering Vrindavan, because he had the same identical form as Lord Krishna, so everybody thought that the Krishna had returned to Vrindavan to fulfill his promise. So everybody thought that, oh, Krishna has come. But it was actually Uddhava who had the same identical form as Lord Krishna himself. So here, Uddhava, so Narada Muni started praising Uddhava, started praising him. Manogyan Subhagat Parayika Vajanam Maya Saman Sangam Maya Dva Uddhavam Tadiya Padayikarajo Tava Bhavit Tadaiva Santi Vatamianta Atmanaha. Shinada said, please arrange for me to meet Uddhava, the only true object of exquisite good fortune, or else let me have from his feet one particle of dust. Then alone will my heart be at peace. So I just read this again. So Nada said, please arrange for me to meet with Uddhava, the only true object of exquisite good fortune, or else let me have from his feet one particle of dust. Then alone will my heart be at peace. So Narada Muni was so eager to meet Uddhava. He said, oh, if I don't meet him, let me get a dust of his lotus feet. Because the dust of the lotus feet of a devotee, as I say, is actually the perfection of life, to have this dust. This dust. So this is the great thing. Narada Muni himself. Narada Muni was not an ordinary person. As a matter of fact, Narada Muni is an incarnation of the Lord. He's the Bhakti Avatar. He's the one. He's incarnated to actually spread Bhakti. He incarnated to spread Bhakti of the Lord, But here Narada Muni himself glorifying such a great Vaishnava, such a great Premi Bhakta, a loving devotee of Lord Krishna, that's Uddhava. So in this text here, Srila Sanatana Goswami is saying that Uddhava was present right in front of Narada, but the sage in his ecstasy failed to notice him. Narada first begged to be brought before Uddhava, but then reconsidered and thought himself probably unworthy to meet him. By explaining the demands of his heart, Narada answered the question about the cause of his strange behavior. So Narada was full of himself, that even though Uddhava was right in front of him, he did not recognize him. Because what? Just by hearing the name Uddhava, it was completely transcendental ecstasy, just by hearing the name Uddhava. So Puratanai Adunikas Chasebakai Alabdam Hapto Lam Anugraham Prabhu Mahatamo Bhagavate Suyastato Mahavibhuti Swayam Machate Chaya. So now Nadamuni continues speaking of Uddhava. He has attained an abundance of our Lord's mercy, never gained by the laws or the servants in the past or even now. Because Uddhava is the greatest of all Vaishnavas. The Lord himself calls Uddhava one of his own special expansions. So this is Nadamuni speaking. So, and of course, in the 11th canto Bhagavatam, so he mentioned that when Lord Krishna, when he was speaking to Uddhava, so he described his own opulent expansions in the material world. And he declares Uddhava to be his representation, his representative among the Vaishnavas. Vasudeva Bhagavatam, 22 Bhagavate Swaham. So Lord Krishna is saying that among those entitled to the name Bhagavan, I am Vasudeva, and you, Uddhava, indeed represent me among the devotees. So which means the word Uddhava is synonymous with the word Bhakta. So his Bhakta is Param Bhakta, the greatest among all the devotees is Uddhava. Uddhava is called Haridas, the servant of Lord Hari. There are three personalities who are said to be the servant of Hari, the servant of Lord Krishna. And these three persons are Yudhishthira Maharaj, Govardhan, and Uddhava. These are said to be the Haridas. Haridas means the servant of God. It's the servant of Lord Hari. And of course, there are many, many servants, devotees of the Lord. But these three personalities are said to be the servants of Lord Hari. Why? Because their whole existence, their body, their thought, every single breath, every single thing, it's just only the Lord's only. So which means to call oneself a servant of the Lord is not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing to call oneself a servant of the Lord. So Nadamuni is glorifying Uddhava, that Uddhava is the greatest of all Vaishnavas. The Lord himself calls Uddhava one of his own special expressions. Then he continues, Uve Pare Chatanava Kamala Shaina Sanadya Sanka Sanadi Sahaja Surida Shiva Sabadya Baya Ramanda Yavutana Pamang Samuti Nashu Prabhu Priyatama Edapex Chayato. No one has ever been as dear to the Lord, neither the Lord's direct sons like Brahma, nor friends like Shiva, nor brothers like Balaram, nor the goddess Rama, or the Lord's other wives. Not even his own unique transcendental body is as dear. So the original Sankarshan is Balaram, so Lord Krishna's brother and constant companion. So neither can dare to say that Uddhava is more dear to Krishna, even than Balaram and other supreme persons. Because Krishna himself has said this. So Krishna said, Lord Krishna told Uddhava, when Lord Krishna was dispatching to Uddhava to Vrindavan, because the Lord could not find who's the best person who can carry his message to Vrindavan, to Brijabasi, because Brijabasi They are certainly not ordinary devotees. They are the best of all the Krishna bhaktas, loving devotees, who, from the day Lord Krishna left Vrindavan, they stop all activities of eating, eating, drinking, any activities. They simply immersed in the deep thought of Lord Krishna, crying every day, crying day and night, just crying, because Krishna is not there. They were feeling intense separation from Lord Krishna. So the Lord sent a message of love to Vrindavan with Uddhava. And the Lord was telling Uddhava, he said, Atata me priyatama atma yoni na sankara. Natya sankashna yasna shri naivatma chayata bhavan. Say, my dear Uddhava, neither Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Sankarshan, the goddess of fortune, nor indeed my own self is as dear to me as you. This, you can see the unique qualification of Uddhava. Such a very dear person. So in the commentary of one of the Acharyas, Lashida Swami, so when Lord Krishna in the Bhagavatam spoke this verse, he meant to say, as dear to me as my devotee. But in the ecstasy of his friendship with Uddhava, he at the last moment switched back to her. The word Bhavan, you. The last original intention, however, had been to glorify all of his pure devotees. So Srila Sanatana Goswami, therefore, early in this commentary on Bhagavatamrita, cited this verse in praise of Prahlad, and now he cites again to see Uddhava. So here I say, Bhagavan Vachanyatyeva Prahitani Puramita Tasya Sobhagas Sandoha Mahima Vyanjakanyalam Tasme Prashada Jatani Sri Krishna Syad Bhutani Api Jagan Vilakshananyadia Gitani Yadu Pungabai Pravisha Kana Dwarina Mamakam Yari Alayam Madiyan Sakalam Haya Dana Luntanin Hatat. So this is another Muni who continues speaking. So the Supreme Lord's own words disclosed in the Puranas tell the glories of Uddhava's good fortune. Those words, born of Sri Krishna's causeless mercy, are unlike any others heard in this world. The Yadavat heroes now tell those words in songs. Alas, when those words enter the home of my heart, through the gateways of the ears, they steal all my wealth of sobriety. So Nada, who is actually an authorized Acharya, is speaking this way, glorifying the Uddhava. So Nada, of course, is the editor of Sampradaya. So for him, therefore, the highest evidence by which to prove anything is the express opinion of the personality of Godhead and the effect of the Lord's words on the thoughts and behavior of his devotees. So in regard to Uddhava, Lord Krishna has stated his opinion clearly. My dear Uddhava, O beloved of the Yadu dynasty, because you are my servant, well-wisher, and friend, I shall now speak to you the most confidential knowledge. Please hear as I explain these great miseries to you. So, which means when the Lord want to give his message, he only gives his message only to his devotees, and especially the very confidential message. Just like Arjuna, when the Lord was talking to Arjuna, the Bhagavad Gita, he was telling him back to Shime Shakarchiti that because, my dear Arjuna, because you are my friend as well as my devotee. So therefore, I'm speaking, giving you this instruction. Back to Shime Shaka Chaiti. You are my devotee as well as my friend. So therefore, I'm giving you this knowledge. So similarly, also, the Lord is telling Uddhava that you are my servant, you are my well-wisher, you are my friend. I shall not speak to you this most confidential knowledge, because it is that confidential knowledge that Lord Krishna want to send. He want to send this knowledge to the inhabitant, to the great sages who are living in the Himalayas, who have been performing austerity for a long time, who desire to see Lord Krishna, but they were unable to see him. So therefore, the Lord want to send this message to those sages. And the person, the most qualified person who can carry this message is Uddhava. So the whole of Uddhava Gita was spoken this way to Uddhava, to Uddhava, and Uddhava now after the Lord gave him this instruction, so Uddhava will now carry the message to the Himalayas, to the Bharati Strata. By that time, the Lord had already left. So the Lord had already left the planet, and Uddhava, why, knowing that the Lord had already left, so why carrying the message, why proceeding to the Himalayas mountains? Now he met Vidura. So we can see that this the time of meeting Vidura, just like in the first chapter of this third canto, we read about how Vidura, how he left home due to the insulting words of Duryodhana. So he left home due to the insulting words of Duryodhana, and then he went, and they never returned. So from the time he left, so Vidura left before the battle of Kurukshetra. And then he started traveling all over different places of pilgrimage. He was going all over, basically all over India, traveling all over places of pilgrimage. So this was before the battle of Kurukshetra. And then after the battle of Kurukshetra, so Lord Krishna was there at the battle of Kurukshetra. And then after the battle, then Lord Krishna went back to Dwarka, by which the Lord stayed for another. The Lord stayed for another 25 years or so, maybe a little bit over 25 years in Dwarka. Let's say 30 years. And that time, the Lord finished up his pastime. He went up his Boma Lila, his pastime in this material world, and then he departed. He closed his pastime. He departed. So from that time till now, Vidura now meeting Uddhava, because Vidura has been wandering all over. He never returned home. So which meant a period of more than 30 years had passed. A period of more than 30 years had passed. Then without returning home, then he met Uddhava. Now, just to go a little bit ahead. So we met Uddhava, and then there's a very, very interesting conversation which took place between Uddhava and Vidura. Very interesting conversation by which we're going to be hearing lots of Krishna Katha. We're going to be hearing a lot of that. And then eventually Uddhava directed Vidura to go and hear BHAGAVATAM, to go and hear instruction from Maitreya. And then after that, then after hearing from Maitreya, then Vidura went back home. He went back home, and then he gave instruction to his brother, Dhritarashtra, why are you still staying here? You should leave. You should leave home at once. And then by hearing from Vidura, so Dhritarashtra left home, which we read about in the first canto, chapter 13 of the first canto Bhagavatam, like that. So anyway, so here the meeting Uddhava. So Vidura could say that Uddhava was in a complete transcendental ecstasy, which means Uddhava did not even know that Vidura was present. He was because just by hearing that I want to hear about Krishna, I want to hear about Krishna, I want to hear about Krishna, just by hearing that from Vidura, immediately Uddhava completely just lost it. He lost himself. He became absorbed in transcendental ecstasy. Now, in love of God, there are three types of expressions. Because in due to separation from the Lord, devotee will experience all kinds of transformation due to the experience of love of God. And we have to realize that experiencing of love of God possible only after one has completely transcended, one has become totally transcendental to this material body. One no longer have any particular desire to have anything to do anymore with this material one. One's whole consciousness has become completely Krishna consciousness, Krishna conscious. Now there are three types of feelings of the Lord. The first type is called Puvarag. Puvara is raga means attraction. Raga, this is Puvarag. Which means the Puva means initial. Which means before meeting the Lord, there's a Puvarag, whereby one have this intense attraction to the Lord, and from this interest, even though one has not met him, there's an intense attraction, and one simply start seeing is like whatever one sees simply reminds one of the Lord. Just like the 10th canto Bhagavatam, you see the gopis, they're having this Puvarag, whereby they are simply expression. Whatever they see simply remind them of Krishna. When they say dark cloud, they are reminded of Krishna when they say dark cloud, because dark cloud is the color of Lord Krishna's body. Lord Krishna's body resembles dark cloud. So when the gopis of Vrindavan, when they say dark cloud, their body becomes transformed. They start expressing, say, oh, how amazing. Or when they see a peacock. When they say peacock, they immediately think of Krishna, because of Krishna, he wears peacock feather on his head. Or when they see Tama tree is a special tree, which is darkish in complexion. And then in their delirium, they started asking all kinds of living entity that, oh, have you seen Krishna? Have you seen Krishna? Have you seen Krishna playing flute? They will go, the gopis, they will go. Sometimes they will go to the forest. When they go to the forest, they will see the bamboo tree. And then they will praise the bamboo tree. Oh, bamboo tree, you are so fortunate because your descendant, because they are talking of the Krishna's flute, because Krishna's flute is made up of bamboo. It's made of bamboo tree, but it's made of bamboo. So they will be praising bamboo, that we were so fortunate that Krishna, that your descendant is a constant leap of Lord Krishna. And then they be asking, have you seen Krishna here? Have you seen Krishna passing by? Hmm? Or they will go to the rivers. River, they say river Yamuna. And when Yamuna is flowing, sometimes she may just stop due to feelings of thinking of Krishna. And then they will ask River Yamuna that, oh, Jaya Yamuna ji, have you seen Krishna? Has Krishna come by here? Or when they see the baby deer, do. And sometimes the deers, they will, when they chew the grass, sometimes they will stop chewing the grass, will just stay in their mouth. And then the gopis, they be praising the deer, say, oh dear, because you are so very, because Krishna, because they play with Krishna. They say, oh, are they asking that? You must have seen Krishna passing by here. That is why you're unable to be chewing the grass. You must have seen Krishna passing by. So therefore, you're unable to continue chewing your grass and all that. So there are a lot of different expression of this, what we call pubara, this initial attraction towards Lord Krishna. And then now, when there's actual meeting with Krishna, this is called Milan. Milan means meeting. When there's actual meeting with Krishna, even that meeting itself become unsatisfactory. Even though the real object of Vashtu is Krishna, that now seeing Krishna, being with Krishna means there's a complete, now there's like the object, the attainment of one subject, then there should be satisfaction. But still, on meeting Krishna, there is the apprehension that, oh, he may live. There's the impression that he may live. If he goes away, what's going to happen? Krishna may live. So it's like they become an anxious thing. That's so, which means even being in front of Krishna, still the apprehension that he may live, that the anxious feeling, the anxious feeling that he may live. Therefore, so that is there. And of course, this can be explained much more deeper if we actually in a particular discussion on that. Just like anyway, this is a different subject. So there's a meeting, Milan, by which there's anxious. And then after Krishna disappeared from one's face, from one's front, then that's what we call viraha, when Krishna is no more there. That's there's after there's a feeling, what we call the feeling separation. Viraha means separation. Just like Krishna left Vrindavan. And then from the time Krishna left Vrindavan, there's intense feeling of separation, whereby one stop all activities. Because now Krishna is no more. He's no more there. Krishna was with me before. Now he's no more with me. Where's Krishna? Where's Krishna? So therefore, oh Krishna, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? One start crying day and night, day and night. Where are you, Krishna? Where are you, Krishna? Now, this position, of course, is only for those who are developed love for God. Well, so therefore, this position is not an ordinary position. And that's the specialty of what Chaitanya Prabhu had come to teach us that yes, the object of life is to develop love of Krishna, is to develop love of God. Prema Pramata Maha. And this development of love of God can only be done if we associate with those caliber of devotees who have developed that love for God. Otherwise, it's impossible. It's not something that can be attained by one's own effort, not by meditation or not by dhyan, not by any particular practice, but can be attained, it can be gotten only by being in the association of those great devotees, those great Vaishnavas who have attained it. Those who are, so therefore the scriptures advise that yes, one has to follow the footsteps of those great devotees. Radio Bhagavan Prajas, this is one. Radio Bhagavan Prajas Vrindavan, that yes, Lord Krishna must be worshipped. That's the highest form of worship. And the best form of worship is to follow the footsteps of those great devotees of Vrindavan. It means those great devotees that we read about in Bhagavatam. That's the greatest form of worship, by following their footsteps. So, this whatever is a great Prabhu Bhakta, loving devotees. That to him, his body is not material, his body is completely spiritual body. His body is completely spiritual body. So, and whatever, he became very unconscious. He became unconscious just by hearing something that, I want to hear, tell me about Krishna. I want to hear about Krishna. So just by hearing that word from Vidura, immediately just lost everything. He became unconscious, exhibiting ecstasy. Then of course, these feelings of ecstasy it's not something, normally the great devotees, they don't just manifest this in front of anyone, because the normal people, they will not understand the great feelings of devotee. They can't understand. So therefore, when the great devotees, when they exhibit this kind of symptoms, they only do that if there is a qualified person. Only if there's a qualified person, they can only do that. Otherwise, they will not. They don't just. They don't just do it. They don't just exhibit it. There has to be a qualified person. Otherwise, people take it very cheap. They take it very, very simple. And then they want to imitate. These things cannot be imitated. These expressions of love of God cannot be imitated. It's something that must be earned, that must be realized. So this is what, there's a lot more to talk about whatever situation. There's much more to talk. And Srila Prabhupada, he talks about. He said there are 8 kinds of transcendental changes in the body: tears, shivering of the body, perspiration, restlessness, throbbing, choking of the throat. And all were manifested by Uddhava in the presence of Vidura. So because Vidura was a qualified person, a great devotee himself, so Uddhava, he had no problem in exhibiting these ecstatic symptoms before Vidura. He had not, because Vidura himself, he himself was a great devotee. He was a prime bhakta himself, a great devotee. And then, before I conclude, so Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Pad, he also said about this particular verse. He said for 48 minutes, he remained silent. This is Uddhava. He remained silent since he had become peaceful and blissful, being submerged in the sweetness of Krishna's lotus feet, which arose from prem caused by intense separation. He was feeling intense separation from the Lord. This verse describes his remembrance of Krishna. When he recovered from fainting by the questions of Vidura, Uddhava explained, "Oh, I have been separated from my master." He remained silent for 48 minutes. Because of relishing the nectar of Krishna's beauty attained by meeting the Lord directly through remembrance of his lotus feet, he became submerged in the sweetness of prem. Back to you again now. Which appeared when the pain of separation from Krishna increased. This made him forget his previous pain. Peaceful. He remained in this state. He remained in this blissful state. It's just an explanation of this verse by another of our charger. So this verse is actually quite a deep verse because it takes us to on a different platform of how devotees how they have different kind of experience when it comes to the topic of love of God. And this experience, it comes to them whenever they remember the activities of the Lord or their own particular direct experience of the Lord. When they remember this direct experience of the Lord, then they manifest all these different symptoms. Then this is manifest. So therefore, just like in the Guvastakam, not Guvastakam, in the prayers to the in the prayer to the sixth Goswami, Srila Srinivas Thakur Acharya, he said, Irade Bhajadevi Chalalite Hinanda Suno Kutaha. So it's talking that how the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, like Rupa, Sanatan, Raghunath Bhatta, Jiva Goswami, Gopal Bhatta, how these great Goswami, great devotees, they will go to the forest of Vrindavan, and then they be crying out that, hey Radhe, hey Krishna, hey Brajadevi, ladies of Vrindavan, where are you? Suno Kuta, hear me, where are you, where are you? Go Shanta, iti. So they will, in the great transcendental ecstasy, they be crying about, crying. But this personality, they are no longer in their material body, in this totally spiritual body. Actually, as I said, that even now, the transcendental ecstasy is not actually possible to be experienced within the material body. It's not possible. One has to develop, because the kind of bliss that one gets, material body cannot sustain it. So therefore, one has to be possessed of spiritual body in order to experience this transcendental ecstasy. So I'm going to stop here because the time is going. And this whole chapter and the next chapter, I think about 2 or 3 chapters, it's all about the talks between Vidura and Uddhava, so a lot of nice conversation. Uddhava's remembrance of Lord Krishna will be, stated, will be talked about. So it's going to be very, very sweet chapter. Okay, Hare Krishna. So if anybody have any question, you can please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. His Grace Ishara Prabhu. Wow, lots of leelas. Dear devotees, if anyone may have comments, realizations, questions, you may want to share or ask, please. Madhavan Prabhu, please, you may unmute.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for this. Hare Krishna, thank you very, very much for this wonderful narration. I think you even gave us more than what we expected. So thank you very much. So my question is very simple. I just want to know how many years the Battle of Kurukshetra, how many years, what was the duration of the year of the battle? Is it 3 years, 5 years? Hare Krishna.
No. Duration of the battle was 18 days. 18 days only. Not many. It was 18 days. It's not like, Russia have been fighting Ukraine for 2 years and did not stop. Or Israel bombing a small city of Gaza. It's having finished almost a year. It's only 18 days.
Wonderful.
And that 18 days, millions of, and of course, the part of Kurukshetra, because the Lord wanted to remove all those persons who are on burden of the earth. who are the create the burden of the earth. So those persons, they were gathered on the battle of Kurukshetra, and then they were, exterminated because the Lord wanted to remove the burden of the earth. And it so happened that everyone, because everyone who was on the battlefield and they saw Lord Krishna on the battlefield, they all got liberation. Because anyone who sees Krishna at the time of death, you got liberation, all of them. So that's a special thing. So the Lord was present, and everybody who was there, they saw Lord Krishna at the time of their death, so they got liberation. So the Lord is very, very merciful. When the Lord kills, it's for the good of the people. The Lord, he arranged the battle of Kurukshetra. He arranged all the impious soldiers who have become burden to the earth. They become burden to the earth. So, and then those burden was removed, was diminished. So it took only 18 days. Only. So 18 is a very, very significant numbers. The Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters. Puranas, the major Puranas, there are 18 of them. And the battle of Kurukshetra was 18 days.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Why I asked this question, my curiosity was when Vidura was asking, Maitreya, I think, yeah, when he was asking the conditions of the Yadava. So that time I was thinking maybe they were no more alive or no more on this planet. They have been annihilated. So I'm surprised when he was asking about them, their conditions, how is so person, how is so person.
You mean when Vidura was asking them, Maitreya?
Yes.
Is that your question?
He was asking them about the well-being of.
No, they already gone. They already departed already. Because when Vidura met Uddhava, the Yadavas, they already left, they already removed from the planet. And when Vidura met Uddhava, so Vidura, he wanted to hear the instructions which Lord Krishna gave him. He wanted to hear the instruction which Lord Krishna gave him. And then because of that, when Lord Krishna was instructing Uddhava, Maitreya was also there. And the Maitreya was also hearing the same message. So when Vidura requested Uddhava to narrate to him what Lord Krishna had instructed, and so Uddhava told him that Uddhava said that yes, Maitreya Muni was an experienced, was an older person, and he was there when Lord Krishna was speaking. So therefore, go to Maitreya Muni and hear the message from him. So the meeting of Maitreya and Vidura was after the departure of the Yadavas or Lord Krishna himself, after everybody. Anyway, that's the way it is, not before. I hope that is clear.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Shri Govinda Prabhu, please you may unmute.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, sir. Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and all glories to your service. And thank you very much for this wonderful presentation of SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. Prabhu, you said so many things, and from what you have narrated to us also attracts a lot of questions. So I have about 3 questions. But I'll first start from here. I'll ask these questions one after the other. The first question I would like to ask is about the ecstasy which you were just explaining about 7-10 minutes ago, that the great devotees, sometimes they don't want to express their ecstasies in the midst of those who are not very much advanced. And so my question is that, you know, when one is drunk, when one takes alcohol and get drunk, the alcohol influence the mind of that person. And so that person acts according to the spirit of the alcohol. And so the person that he respects most, he does not even see if he's in front of that person. The words that he cannot speak, he can speak those kind of words because of, he's under influence of this alcohol.
Yeah.
So when one enters into such deep ecstasy, you see, sorry, Prabhu, we are still in a material world here with the same material body, with the same material mind, and this transcendental knowledge is being given to us, and so sometimes it's difficult for us to break it down because of our level. And so a person who is in that kind of ecstatic love, how can he determine that this person is not on my platform, is not on that spiritual level, and so let me check myself? How can he check himself? It's like a drunk person. You are drunk. So how can you check yourself? Because the influence of the alcohol is working beyond your control. So that is my question. How does the great devotees check themselves when they are taken by the spirit of ecstatic love? So this would be my first question, Prabhu.
So let me answer that. So it's very, very interesting and intelligent questions. Yeah, that's why I like this platform, because people ask questions nicely, which sometimes not always available other places when we give classes. So as I say, with a drunk person, he say things uncontrollably. So similarly, when somebody's drunk with love of God, can also become uncontrollable. Usually, the great devotees, they usually be in an environment whereby there are other devotees. And sometimes things become uncontrollable in terms of the exhibition of ecstatic symptoms. It becomes uncontrollable. And this can be misunderstood by people. So there's a story there. One time, Srila Rupa Goswami, he was doing his meditation. It's called Smaranam, remembering the lost pastimes. And he was standing this was in near Govardhan. He was standing there. He was remembering. He was doing a little small, remembering the lost pastimes. And in that pastime, he was seeing actually have real vision. It's like having a television. So he was seeing the lost lila, the lost pastime with the inhabitants of Vrindavan, with the gopis and Gopal was them. And then there was one particular instance whereby as Rupa Goswami was seeing the pastime going on, he was having internal vision. As he was seeing this going on, and then he started laughing. He was laughing because he was seeing the pastime, so he was laughing. But the time when he was laughing, there was one crippled person passing by. This crippled person was also a sadhu, but this person was crippled, you know. So it was passing by. So when this person, he noticed that Rupa Goswami was laughing. And this person, he became offended. He thought that Rupa Goswami was laughing because he was crippled. He thought he said, oh, Rupa Goswami was laughing because of my condition, you know, being crippled was thought. And then so he left away, he left and then offended, you know, feeling offended, he left, feeling offended. So, and then the next morning, Sri Rupa Goswami was, you know, he was performing his normal meditation, his normal little time to remember the past times every day. That is his daily sadhana, his daily activities. But this particular morning, he was not seeing any pastimes. He was not feeling anything. He was not feeling it. And then he asked Sanatana Goswami, his brother, that how is it today that I'm not seeing any pastime today? I'm not feeling anything today. How is it? How come? What happened today? I'm not feeling any. I'm not seeing any pastime. I'm not feeling anything. And then Sanatana Goswami tell him that, well, what could be? What could be? Did you offend anybody, anything? Did you offend anyone? Did you cause anyone agitation? Rupa Goswami said, no, it's impossible. Because Rupa Goswami is the one that he have is the most humble person, and nobody, there's no, if anybody wants to challenge you, you just say, oh, whatever you want, you know. So he said, it's impossible. I cannot offend anyone. I never do that. So and the Sanatana Goswami said, okay, let us prepare a feast and invite all the sadhus to come and eat feast. And if someone doesn't come, then maybe that person is offended. So let us have a feast and call all the sadhus. So Rupa Sanatana, they prepare feast, and they call all the sadhus, all the sannyasis, got sadhus to come and eat. But everyone came except one particular person, this particular sadhu who was crippled. He didn't come. So Sanatana Goswami said, okay, maybe this person didn't come. There must be something that make him not to come. And then they decide to call him. So they call him, and then they ask him that, what happened? What was done to you? He said, did you do anything to offend you? So, and this person said, well, I was passing by yesterday. As I was passing by, I saw you laughing at me. I saw you laughing at me as I was passing by yesterday because you know that I'm crippled, so that must be the reason why you are laughing at me. So Rupa Goswami said, no, I didn't even know. I was totally unconscious. I wasn't paying I don't have any external consciousness. I was in my internal meditation, it's Smarana Lila, the thinking of seeing the lost pastimes that was causing the laugh, not you. So anyway, this person understood, and then this person was pacified, you know. So sometimes people cannot understand when a great devotee is manifesting a particular act. So that's why they're very, very careful in manifesting that, because most people will not understood, and that happened in the realm of the great devotee, great bhaktas. So that's the whole thing. So anyway, the great devotee they tried, even though sometimes maybe unavoidable sometimes, but usually they don't. When there's unqualified person. that can understand. So usually they don't. So that's why the devotional ecstasy is strictly confidential, strictly personal. It's not something to be displayed. Only the Sahaja, people we call them Sahaja, they are the one that do that. They say, oh, I'm feeling it. But they just want to cheat people, that's it. They say, oh, I'm feeling it. Okay. Anyway, I hope that explain a little bit. The quality.
Yeah, Prabhu, thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to dwell on that too much, but I understand partially.
It can be explained further, but
yeah, because from your explanation, you also again made it clear that when Rupa was in that deep meditation, he was not even aware of his surroundings.
Yeah.
So a person who is not aware of his surroundings, how can he again look at the audience that this person may understand me or not, because he's not aware of his surroundings? I quite remember a couple of times our spiritual master, Bhakti Maharaj, during one of his powerful kirtans, he was leading kirtan, and the stick which he was using to beat his gangan, he has turned the stick to be a microphone, and he was singing in the stick. And I don't think a person with his normal sense would do that. And then from there, he will even go to the extent of giving it to the other devotees also to sing in it. So this expression of, some of expression of ecstasy, that you not see your surroundings because you are taken over by the spirit. And so if you can be checked by your surroundings, it means that we have stepped down from that spiritual level, from that ecstatic platform. There you can check around and see, you even forget your own body. Even this our normal kirtans, sometimes during our kirtans, we can dance some kind of dance that under normal circumstance, you will not dance like that. Somebody who is very, very shy, when he jumps into kirtans, he can misbehave. And so he can misbehave because he does not see his surroundings. He does not even look at his own body. Anyway, bro, I will take it as you have explained, but unless somebody has a question to ask, I'll give the floor for someone to ask a question, and after that, I will come again to my second and third questions. Thank you.
Okay.
So, dear devotees, does anyone else have something to share or ask? Did I hear a conch?
Sorry, that's coming from my hung here.
Oh, okay.
So somebody was, trying to cut in front of me.
Okay.
I was trying to create awareness. Yeah. Sorry.
At least I heard it right. It seems, Governor Prabhu, I think you may go ahead and ask your second question.
Okay, thank you very much. Prabhu, sorry, again, my second question will be you also explain the 4 kinds of liberation that a living entity can attain. And one of it was to get the same opulence like the Supreme Lord Krishna.
Yes, Sarishti.
So that's where my question is. that the whole material world and the spiritual world and everything in between is for the Lord. And we are all his opulence. And a person who attained that level of liberation is also an opulent. That person is also an opulent of the Supreme. So if one attains that that kind of liberation, I'm just wondering, how does he experience that opulence on the same level as the Supreme Personality of Godhead? How does he experience that kind of opulence? And from where? Does he get his own planet? Does he create his own universe? How does he experience that opulence of that of the Supreme?
Of course, one thing, devotee does not desire to be in competition with the Lord, even though you have to. Actually, there's one prayer that says that a devotee does not desire to have all these opulences, such as having the same farm or the same planet, this Sarupya, Samipya, Sarishti, and Salopya. Devotee just want to be a servant of the Lord. Just want to be a servant. Even though these opulence, they're already there. But devotee do not even want it. So, just like we find many, many narrations, just like in the case of Kadama Muni, who was a great devotee of the Lord. And Kadama Muni, he was a great devotee, but he was able to have such a, when he married his wife, Devavati, he became like the master of the universe. He had like a big spaceship which can travel all over the universe. And the ship is as big as a city, the spaceship. Because and then in order to enjoy with his wife, he was able to like expand himself into like 100 farms, So sometimes the Lord can grant a devotee opulence in order to have a particular facility. But it's not the desire of the devotee to want to have the same opulence as the Lord, so they can enjoy it. But that opulence is there. But devotee don't desire it. Devotee simply, because devotee, they know the kind of happiness, the kind of bliss that is there by serving the lotus feet of the Lord. The Lord's lotus feet, this is where the happiness comes from. This is where the bliss comes from. So the devotee do not want anything else except that lotus feet of the Lord. That's the only desire that the devotees, that's the only thing that they have. They desire nothing else. So all these things may already there automatically, but they don't, it's not their desire. You see? So which means that question of yours that how's he going to get his own planet, his own universe? It doesn't even apply because it's never the devotee's desire. Devotees can be just like the case of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj, he was offered a planet that's even better than this universe. He was offered by the Lord himself. But Dhruva said, my dear Lord, just by seeing you, it's like seeing the greatest, it's like whatever desire I may have, it's just like a broken piece of glass. I just by my seeing you, is compared the greatest diamond. So we devotees do not desire anything. They only desire to simply to be at the Lord's lotus feet, to serve the Lord's lotus feet. That is their only desire. There's nothing else. So that's what we have to concentrate on. How you can attain the service of the lotus feet of the Lord. That's what we have to concentrate. That's what we have to concentrate on, nothing else. I hope you agree with me.
Yeah, I agree with you. Prabhu. Yes, we know devotees are very, actually a real devotee is the one who offered himself totally for the service of the Lord. He does not desire anything than the service of the Lord. But the Lord is giving these facilities to his devotees who have surrendered to him on different levels. And Uddhava is a perfect example, who has the same body like the Supreme Lord, Krishna. So, yes, I understand that part of your answer, but I would also like you to go further. That taking apart the fact that the devotee doesn't actually need anything, if that devotee is in need of that particular liberation, how would he experience that opulence of the Supreme?
The point is, as a real devotee will never be making such, he will not hanker for such thing. Even though it's automatic, those opulences are automatically given to a devotee, but a devotee does not hanker for that. A devotee does not say to you, I'm serving the Lord so that I can get one of these opulences. No, it's just never there. It's never there to desire. It's just never there. The Lord himself can grant, just like, for example, you have the case of Lord Brahma, who is a pure devotee of the Lord. So when there is a need for it, the Lord may give a particular devotee, say, okay, you'd be the Lord of this particular universe. For example, there are millions and millions of universes, and the Lord will choose different his devotees to go and become the Lord of that particular universe, become the creator of that particular universe. So, but that is completely the Lord's prerogative. It's not devotee's own desire. Because the Lord wants devotee to serve in that particular capacity, because everything is based on service. Everything is based on service. If the service is to become rich so that one can serve the Lord will grant that to serve him. There's one particular story was there when one time Yudhishthira Maharaj, he was talking with Lord Krishna. So he was talking with Lord Krishna, and then he started asking Lord Krishna for some benedictions. He said, my dear Lord, I want some benediction from you. So Lord Krishna said, okay, you can go ahead. He said, my Lord, I want to be the emperor of the best kingdom in this world. I want to be the emperor of the best kingdom in this world. And I want to have the most beautiful woman as my wife. And I want to have unrivaled opulence. This is my desire. This is what I want, my Lord. So grant me this benediction. So Lord Krishna said, okay, you're my dear devotees, I grant you. Tatastu. And then the Lord asked you this question that, now, Yudhishthira Maharaj, you are my devotee. And my devotee do not desire anything. So why are you asking me for all these benedictions? Because my devotee don't desire anything. They don't want anything from me. So why are you asking me for this? So then Yudhishthira replied, he said, the reason why I ask you for this is not because of me. He said, I don't need anything. I'm only interested in your lotus feet. But I want people to see me that I'm a king of the biggest empire, have the most beautiful woman like Draupadi as wife, have such a vast, have the brothers who are very, very obedient brothers, everything. So they're going to see me this way. I didn't go say, Yudhishthira Maharaj, such a rich king, the most beautiful. But he's a devotee of Krishna. So if you can be a devotee of Krishna and have all these things, so I also can be a devotee of Krishna. So therefore, my desire, all these things for people to be, is for people, when they see me, that will give them impetus to want to become your devotees. Whatever for myself, I don't need anything, I don't desire, I'm just desiring all these things only so that people can become your devotee, because devotees of Krishna are known to be poverty-stricken. They are known to be poor. So because devotees of Krishna are known to be poor, so therefore people don't want to be devoted. Krishna's name, his name is Hari. Hari means who take away. The moment one becomes a devotee, everything is taken away from you. So therefore, people don't want to become a devotee. So therefore, Yudhishthira Maharaj, so for his method of preaching, so he wants to display something so that people can have an impetus to become the Lord's devotees. So otherwise, a devotee never have any particular hankering that yes, a devotee, but I want to desire. No, there's never any such hankering, for the devotees. They don't have such hankering at all. It's just never there. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, third question, yeah?
Yeah, yes, Prabhu. Yes,
so what is
thank you.
You say you have 3 questions?
Third question. Yeah,
the third question?
Yeah.
Okay, the third question would be a little outside this very narrative. The third question would be Rup Narayan. Rup Narayan happened to be a great pandit and was defeating everybody. To the point that he also tried to defeat the Goswamis. And he actually went to Rupa Goswami and asked him for debate, which Rupa Goswami, surrendered. And so it's okay, if you are surrendered, you don't want to debate me, then means you are defeated. And when you are defeated, then you need to sign a kind of certificate indicating that you are defeated by me. And he did it. He did sign it. And so he was kind of roughing around everywhere, defeated this Rupa Goswami. And then he was again told that there's a Jiva Goswami also. And he said, okay, then I'll go and defeat him also. He went to Jiva and then started telling him that, that your brother Rupa is already defeated by me. And I would like to challenge you by argument, by, debate. And so when uncle. So when he heard that he had defeated his uncle, he got so upset, and he accepted the challenge. And of course, Jiva defeated him. And so after he had defeated him, he went to Rupa Goswami and tried to tell him what he has done to again retain the popularity of this family, noble family. And then after Rupa has heard that, he became so upset with Jiva and asked him to leave Vrindavan. So I would like to understand why did Rupa Goswami, your uncle has stood strongly to challenge and defeated this opponent. And instead of you to be happy, then you became so upset and asked him to leave Vrindavan. So I would like to understand why Rupa acted like that.
No, your story is misunderstood. Your story is kind of like you understand incorrectly. It's not Rupa Narayan. It's not. No. The situation which happened was that, first of all, there's Chaitanya Prabhu's teaching is that Trina Pisunichi and one should always be humble. Now, it was not Rupa Narayan. Actually, there was not such a person as Rupa Narayan. It was Vallabhacharya. It was Vallabhacharya who had gone to Vrindavan. At that time, when Rupa Goswami was also Rupa Sanatana, they were there. And then he saw one of the compositions of Rupa Goswami. And in that composition, he finds some fault in it. So he found some fault in it, and they told Rupa that, oh, this is not correct. This is not good. And so Rupa Goswami did not argue. He said, okay, you can correct it. He said, okay, if you think it's not good, you can correct it. So apparently, he did so-called correction, but when the Jiva Goswami heard this, Jiva Goswami was not happy because Rupa Goswami was not only his uncle, but was also his guru. And the integrity of the guru must always be protected. One should never tolerate one's guru to be challenged. The integrity of the guru should always. So with that understanding, so he went to Vallabhacharya and tell him and ask him that where does he feel that Rupa Goswami was wrong. So Vallabhacharya tried to tell him this is what happened, this is what is not wrong. And then with his sound knowledge, Jiva Goswami defeated him. He defeated Vallabhacharya. So when he defeated him, and then Vallabhacharya, then he went to Rupa Goswami that, oh, I'm sorry that I've challenged your writing, but your nephew had corrected me. So your nephew had corrected me. So he went to beg apology from Rupa Goswami. But when Rupa Goswami heard this, that Jiva Goswami had corrected, he had gone to correct Vallabhacharya. First of all, Vallabhacharya, he was an elder sadhu, an elder Vaishnava. So Rupa Goswami could not tolerate the fact that an elder sadhu could be corrected that way. He could not tolerate that. So then he told Jiva Goswami that you have violated the principle of Trinapi Sunichena, the principle of being humbled on a bed of grass. You have violated that principle. So because of that, you have no right, no qualification to stay here in Vrindavan. Because only pure Vaishnava can stay in Vrindavan, who embody this principle of Trinapi Sunichena, who being humbled on a blade of grass. So therefore, leave Vrindavan. So, and then, so Jiva Goswami, he was very morose, very honest. So he left Vrindavan and he went to a cave near the Kamyavan. And in that cave, he was crying day. He was crying day out after day. He was crying because he was banished from Vrindavan. So he was in a cave crying, lamenting. So, and then all the villagers, they saw this sadhu who was in a cave, just simply crying all night, simply crying in the cave. So one time, so Sanatana Goswami, he was in that area. And then the villagers told him that, oh, there's one young sadhu here who's in a cave, and this young sadhu, he has been crying, lamenting, crying. So Sanatana Goswami went there and he saw Rupa Goswami. He saw Jiva Goswami. So seeing Jiva Goswami, because Sanatana Goswami is also his uncle also. So seeing Jiva Goswami crying, lamenting, and then asking, why are you here? Why are you lamenting? And then Jiva Goswami told him that his uncle had told him to banish. He had been banished from Vrindavan. So Sanatana Goswami then took him back to Rupa Goswami, said that, oh, my dear Jiva, my dear Rupa, there's a principle of one of the Vaishnavism principle is Jiva Doya. Jiva Doya means compassion to the Vaishnava, compassion to Jiva. So, and you embody this principle of compassion to Jiva, but this Jiva here, why are you not showing that Daya compassion to him? Why are you banishing from Vrindavan? And you're not being compassionate to him. So therefore, so Rupa Goswami was, and then he again allowed Jiva again to come back to Vrindavan again. So that is that's basically the story, you know, which is basically many things to be learned in that story. One has to be careful to challenge an experienced person and a dead person. And at the same time also the principle of humility, which is by which our acharyas which embody that principle of humility. So what Jiva did was not wrong, because he had to challenge, he has to, you know, one should not tolerate, one always has to defend integrity of one acharya, of one guru, you know. At the same time, the teaching of Srila Rupa Goswami that how one always have to be humble, always. So many teachings were put together and were there together at the same time. So therefore, no one is wrong. Just many teachings were just put together. Because they are the Goswamis, their life, the way they live, it just meant to teach us something. How we can be Vaishnava. So no one is at fault that way.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Prabhu, thank you very much.
So
I agree with you, but I was trying to look for where I found this. Unfortunately, I could not get it now, but I'll look for it, and the next time when you come, I will let you know. Because the story may be different, diverse way.
I know exactly the same story. Only the story can be twisted that we twisted together, but there's no such a thing.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Twisted is. There's one person by the name Rupa Kaviraj, not Rupa Narayana, Rupa Kaviraj. Anyway, who's the
yeah. This one is actually Rupa Narayan. I mean Rup Narayan, not Rupa, but Rup, R-O-O-P. Rup Narayan. I'll find it and let you know next time when you come.
Okay. So Bhakta
Thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Hassan, please you may unmute.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, please kindly accept my humble respect of senses. All glory to Srila Prabhupada, and all glory to you, and all glory to the Assembly devotees. Maharaj, please, I have 2 questions. And the first, I have asked this before, but I think due to the time I was not really satisfied with the answer, so I want to ask you. The first question is, spiritual master sacrificed his life and everything to help the disciples to go to the spiritual world, and he would do everything possible that he has to do more austerity, suffer a lot in other ways to help the devotees. But my question is, why is it that when devotee commit offenses, the spiritual master has to have a share, which he is innocent of that? Is it because of part of his karma, or I just need explanation of that? And my second question is, we hear that when you blaspheme about the devotees or lie about them, it's a gateway to hell. So my question is, what about the devotees also blaspheme or lie about the non-devotees? What is the consequences? Hare Krishna, this is my humble question, Maharaj.
So if I understand your question correctly, if a devotee commits sin or commit offense to Guru or offense to other persons, is that what you're saying? Basically,
yes,
a Guru, when one take initiation, the spiritual master basically absorb the sin or the sinful reactions of the disciple. He absorbed it when at the initiation. But it doesn't mean that one continue committing offenses or one continue committing sins, knowing that the Guru will absorb the sins. No, that is not what it means. Then you have to suffer for it. And because initiation is like a contract that, okay, the Guru accepts The Guru says, okay, I'm going to, and you promise before the Guru that, okay, I'm going to follow these principles and I will not commit offenses or commit sinful activities, especially knowingly committing sinful activities. And as long as one remains faithful to that commitment to the Guru and want to engage in the service, then the person will always be under the protection of the spiritual master. But if the person do his own thing, not following the order of the spiritual master, and want to go on committing sinful activities, then that person will no longer be under the Guru's protection, because you are breaking the contract which you have made. You see, so breaking the contract which you break that contract, then the Guru is not really liable, for that. So which means the contract is there for as long, and sometimes the Guru can reject the disciple if the disciple is found to be very sinful, not following the order. Then the Guru can reject the disciples. Of course, because the initiation is there and all your past sins are absorbed by the Guru. But at the same time, you commit sin again, then you don't expect that your sin is going to be absorbed again by the spiritual master. No, because the spiritual master do his own thing, then you have to do your own thing also. You have to follow as you have been given, and you have to, render service to the spiritual master. Render service. Now, if you are rendering service to the spiritual master, and some sins are committed unknowingly, or maybe because of some previous bad habit, something is done, then the Guru can give protection. When something is done without, because sometimes because of our past karma, sometimes we are unable to control our senses. We may accidentally fall down, So the Guru can be because the Guru, a pure Guru is very compassionate, can kindly, give us protection, can kindly relieve us. But to knowingly be committing sinful activities, saying that, oh, I am going to be forgiven by my Guru, I'm going to be absorbed by my Guru, no, that is not there. That's not recommended. And then your other question about if one blasphemes another devotee, is that what you said? If one blasphemes?
Yes, the question is here that when we blaspheme about the devotees, it's surely the gateway to hell.
Yeah.
And my question is, what about the devotees also blaspheme about non-devotees? What is the consequences?
And of course, when we talk of hell, it's not like a place where you're going to be burning in the fire forever. No, there'll be some if you blaspheme someone, there'll be some punishment like that. But it's not eternal. It's not eternal damnation, because devotees are very compassionate. They're very merciful by nature. Even when someone offend them, blaspheme them, they don't take it personally. They even forgive the person. So, yeah, there may be some repercussion, of course, which one may have temporary setback, temporary suffering may be there. And the non-devotee, of course, the non-devotee, actually, is mentioned that one should not offend any living entity, because super soul is in the heart of every living entity, and every jiva is every living entity, every spirit soul is part of the laws. No one is disconnected from the Lord. So the Vaishnavas in general, they are compassionate in general. They are very compassionate. They don't go out and committing offense to anybody. They don't blaspheme anybody. Only those who blaspheme are those who are neophytes. Those who are who don't know much. They are the only one who blaspheme them. They are the devotees who have advanced in Krishna consciousness. They don't blaspheme anybody. They don't. They always practice the principles of humility, tolerance, tolerance, humility, like that. That's the principle they always go by. The humble than a blade of grass, tolerant than a tree. Who can be more tolerant than a tree? A tree is very tolerant. Everybody is cutting the tree, taking the fruit. Still, The tree is always standing there, and they are also cutting the same tree. See, the tree does not protest. That's a devotee. A devotee is like that, always tolerant like a tree. Mahaprabhu said, "Be tolerant than a tree." That's what Mahaprabhu said. So therefore, a devotee do not blaspheme. But those who are neophyte, they see them, they criticize others, they blaspheme others because they are neophytes. But in the course of time, as they become advanced, they get mercy or some advanced devotee, then they will also come from that. They will come off that mentality in due course of time. Basically, everything we do in this world, like committing offense to others, is just due to ignorance. But once ignorance is removed, then we see the light, and then there will be no more committing offense to others. We see how everyone is connected to the Lord, and we'll be full of appreciation to everyone. Once the ignorance is removed.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. I wanted to ask this question especially about the spiritual master, because I was thinking that how does he have to suffer if he has accepted you as devotee, as a disciple, and you are committing offenses, and he has to suffer. I was even feeling bad about that. That why does he have to suffer? So thank you so much for your answer, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Don't make your spiritual master suffer. Do as you are told. Okay. So
Hare Krishna. Does anyone have any question, comments, realizations?
maybe one comment from is what's his name? Brother Prabhu there? Because
Yes, he's here.
it's almost 11 o'clock p.m. for me.
Yeah.
Brother Prabhu want to say something. Is he online?
No, Dandava Pranam, Ishwara Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Sri Guru and Gaura. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Wonderful discourse. And only the question Govinda Prabhu asked, I was thinking, it's like Srila Prabhupada had actually explained how one shares the same opulence with the Lord. He gave the example of a servant who rides in the same car with his master, maybe a servant of a king, who rides in the same car because he has to serve the king. So he's enjoying the same opulence. It doesn't belong to him. But then whatever respect that is due to the king is given to the servant. When he sits in the same area where the king sits, everything is offered to, he benefits from the same respect given to the king. So Prabhupada explained that the devotee enjoyed the same opulence with the Lord because, and then he gave the example of how sometimes devotees are called the same name. They say Krishna, they say there's Krishna, they call even ordinary devotees Krishna. You give the example of how Draupadi is also called Krishna, example like that. So I think that's just what I want to add. I don't know how you see that, but I think that was explained in that sense. That because the devotee get the same fame like Krishna, it may not be, like Govinda Prabhu was saying, belongs to him personally, but he's enjoying the same opulence like the Lord because of his relationship with the Lord. So fame, wealth, beauty, renunciation, everything, all the opulences the Lord enjoys, the devotee enjoys the same because he's serving the Lord. People give him all that respect, So maybe, I don't know how you see that, just a little contribution. Hare Krishna. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Yes, good contribution. Thank you. We are waiting for you in Vrindavan, so.
Hare Krishna.
By your mercy, I will make it. Don't worry, Prabhu. By your mercy, you will see me too. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Thank you so much for sharing that, Shimabara Acharya Prabhu. I just recalled one guy. What was the name? Tafari something. I think it was Campbell. Tafari Campbell. This young man, he accidentally drowned, and it became a huge news in the U.S. Why? Because he was just a chef. He was a cook to then President Obama. Because he was a chef to President Obama, he became so relevant that his death became like a national news. So that demonstrates the servant also sharing the pleasures and the joy of the master, like you said, which is so beautiful. And His Grace Ishara Prabhu, thank you so much for such wonderful pastimes and Krishna Katha. Each time you speak, you share lots of deeper insights of whatever we're reading, which is very interesting. I had one question, but it's late. You have to go. So,
Hare Krishna, Saha Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
So this question I was asking Prabhu, it's found here in Rup Narayan defeated Jiv Goswami defeated Rup Narayan. So this is Narayan, Rup Narayan I'm talking about. If you type in defeating Rup Narayan in debate. So this is a name that I was referring to, and I say it's not Rup Narayan, but this is what is written here.
Anyway, you have to, because we have a book of reference. The books that describe most of the Goswami pastimes is called a Bhakti Ratnaka, very, very famous. We describe the Goswami's Lila. And also we have some other books also. So they have to be able to prepare the point of reference. But nonetheless, I don't want to go now. The time is going for me. We can communicate. Yeah. We can communicate together. You can write me on. You can on WhatsApp like that, so you can communicate.
Okay, Prabhu.
Well, actually, all right. I saw it here. It's a posting. Some devotees from Bhagavad Gita as it is the group. They shared that. They shared this pastime, Rup Narayan, just like Govinda Prabhu is saying.
Sometimes devotee writes something without proper reference.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You cannot go wrong with that. Yes.
The stories are mixed up.
Yes.
The thing with the Vallabhacharya is well documented story.
Yeah.
How Jiva Goswami was sent to Art of Vrindavan. It's well documented.
Yes.
Anyway,
well, so at this point, we're going to humbly request all the devotees to kindly unmute, and we all chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra to express our appreciation to our revered speaker for today, His Grace Ishara Prabhu. Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Pancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhya Eva
Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai.
Confounder Church, the Prabhupada ki Jai. All glories to assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.